Welcome back, property investors. In this episode, we're going to keep diving into DSCR loans. As a savvy, modern investor, the better you are at this type of loan program, the more successful you'll be. In this video, we're going to be drilling down and talking about the topic of prepayment penalties on DSCR loans and how you can use these for strategic advantage. Now, before we jump right in, two quick things. Number one, if you're new to DSCR loan programs, be sure to check out our other videos. Those are really going to help you grasp the fundamentals on this particular loan program. And number two, show us some love for the channel by hitting the subscribe and hitting all those other buttons. At this point, you should know what to do. We really appreciate it. All right, so let's just jump right in. What is a prepayment penalty? A prepayment penalty is a one-time fee that you pay to the loan servicer when you pay down the principal beyond a set amount, or if you pay off the loan entirely before a predetermined penalty window has elapsed. Let's boil that down. Prepayment penalties are something that are negotiated with the lender at the time you structure your financing. They can impact the terms of your new loan. Prepayment penalties are only permitted by federal law on investment homes, not owner-occupied or second homes, which is why you tend to see these on DSCR loans, because DSCR loans are also only for investment properties. Now, some states forbid prepayment penalties altogether, even on investment homes, so be sure to discuss this with your loan originator at the time of application. So here's how it works. There are two ways to incur a prepayment penalty, assuming that your loan has this feature. If you make a principal reduction payment at any time during the loan that goes beyond your normal payment schedule, then you've made what's called a prepayment. When you make a prepayment, the loan servicer applies the prepayment penalty fee to your next monthly payment. Prepayment penalties are tied directly to the pricing of your new loan, meaning it can offer you a lower rate, it can lower the upfront fees on your loan, or some combination of those two. The longer the prepayment period you accept, the more that it benefits the pricing of your loan. And the shorter the period, the smaller the benefit to the pricing of your loan. Now, in the past, there have been two major types of prepayment penalties. We call them hard and soft. It has to do with the reasons why you're paying this loan off early. Hard prepayment penalties are a prepayment penalty that applies whenever you are prepaying because you're selling the home or refinancing the home. And a soft prepayment penalty applies only when you're paying off the loan through refinancing. These days, all prepayment penalties are hard. In other words, the reason for the prepayment doesn't matter. If you're selling or refinancing the property, the penalty would apply. Now that we've covered that all prepayment penalties are pretty much the same, they're hard prepayment penalties these days, most lenders fall into one of two categories. They either charge a 0 to 3 year prepayment penalty or a 0 to 5 year prepayment penalty. Now let's start with the 0 to 3 year variety, which is in line with our particular programs. The penalty for our DSCR programs is 6 months of interest for any amount that exceeds 20% of the original principal balance. Of course, with all prepayment penalties, the longer the prepay period, the better your pricing. And that's no different for our program. So if we compare the interest rate savings with a loan that has no prepayment penalty, then you can start to see the type of savings we're talking about here. For instance, with a 1 year prepayment penalty, it would save you about 1/8 of 1% on the rate. Not a huge savings, but it's also not a very restrictive period either. The 2 year prepayment penalty would save you about 3/8 of 1% on the interest rate. Nothing to sneeze at. And then the 3 year prepayment penalty can save you around 0.5 point on your interest rate. Now let's cover the 0 to 5 year variety. So the first thing you need to know is that there's a total of 6 different options with this type of prepay. There's 2 5-year varieties, there's 2 3-year varieties, there's a 2-year and a 1 year. So the first 5-year option is the 5x5. That is a 5% prepayment penalty applied for all 5 years. The next one is called a stepped 5-year prepay, which means that in the first year, the penalty is 5%. The second year, it's 4%. The third year, it's 3%, then 2%, then 1% until it's eventually gone. So next up is the 3-year 3x5 prepayment penalty. So that one is a 5% per year, year 1, 2, and 3. The next up is the 3-year prepayment penalty, and that's 3% for years 1, 2, and 3. The 2-year prepayment penalty is 3% for years 1 and 2, and then the 1-year prepayment penalty is 3% for year 1 only. As with anything else in the loan process, be upfront with your loan originator. If we know what your goals are, then we can tailor these prepayment penalties and give you several options to choose from, and then you can just choose the one that works best for you. And now let's jump into the benefits of prepayment penalties. As we just discussed, Prepayment penalties are a direct lever on your overall financing package. It can affect the interest rate or the upfront price of the loan or some blend of the two. For instance, if you're buying a home and you believe that interest rates are likely to drop in the next, say, 12 to 18 months, and your goal is to secure a property at today's market price with the goal of refinancing down the road, then you might opt to apply a 1 to 2 year prepayment penalty depending upon your risk aversiveness to save some money on the payments and improve your bottom line. Having a prepayment penalty can be a great way to improve your financing, especially in geographic areas that have traditionally high market appreciation. Now, going back to the previous example, if you believe that if rates coming down in the near future will cause greater competition in the market and drive up the value of your property, then you may even choose to do a full 3-year prepayment penalty. It would save you money, and the penalty itself would simply get rolled into the equity of the property in the new loan amount. In other words, it comes out of your newfound equity. When you're refinancing a property, prepayment penalties are seldom paid out of pocket. Since they're built into the payoff figure of your old loan, they usually get rolled into the new loan, provided there's sufficient equity. Is there some risk here? Yes, but risk comes with the territory of real estate investing. The better you get at understanding the marketplace where the home is located and how the neighborhoods are trending and evolving, the better you get at managing this sort of risk. This is how experienced investors develop an eye for opportunities by taking the larger view and then balancing it with knowledge and data. So as we were saying earlier, just be upfront with your loan originator. If you tell us what your goals are, we'll match our programs and give you several different options to choose from, and then you can look at the numbers and make the right decision. And that's it. We hope you found this information helpful and that you're a little wiser about prepayment penalties than when you started this video. If you're looking to invest in real estate using DSCR programs, we lend in 29 states. We have a robust product offering of DSCR programs, and we have a ton of experience with this type of loan program. If you're out there looking for properties and you want to run your own DSCR scenarios, be sure to check out our free DSCR calculator. It's available on our website. We'll include it in the link in the description below. This way you can just take a look at a property and ascertain its value. You can get a DSCR right on the spot. Just a couple of quick inputs, day or night, and it's designed to work with our own DSCR program. So be sure to check that out. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out with us today. I'm Derek Bisson, and this is Unconventional Lending.